perfect RIA, in case you didn't know. Bringing you all the strategies to help your business grow. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Sit back and listen in while you feel the beat, yeah. Another myth bites the dust.
Hello, TPR Nation. Welcome to today's Follow-Up Friday episode. This is Amber Kuhn from The Perfect RA, and I'm excited to go over the highlights from Monday's episode. On Monday, Matt and Micah took a deeper look into what maximum effectiveness looks like in their lives, since they're so focused on having a practice dedicated to value and where they make sure to take the time off needed to be the best that they can be. One area where they see advisors struggle is effectively prioritizing business while also prioritizing family. Micah said this can be a red flag, if then that it leads to an advisor saying they can't do something because they have family needs, obviously excluding a family emergency. In reality, these advisors haven't set expectations, values, or priorities with their families and clients on how they are prioritizing. As you know from listening to Matt and Micah, family time is incredibly important to them. But Matt said it can't be used as an excuse for not taking care of your clients. Always honor time for your clients. Be intentional and don't use family as an excuse to not do what you need to do. For Micah, he said something to consider is potential issues with where you work. Some people can't balance working from home and shouldn't work from home. You end up doing a disservice to your family and your clients because you're not spending quality time with your family and you're not focusing on the needs for your clients. You need to set priorities. So how do you work through things? For Micah, he realized that he couldn't work in hotel rooms with his children there, so he'd work elsewhere to make sure that he was focused on clients and then he could focus on family. For Matt, he knows he can work really well while his kids are at school. Once they're home, that then becomes a struggle and burns a lot of focus. So keep in mind what your situation is and what works best for you. Micah also talked about how expectations need to be a conversation with your family. When his family is traveling, he'll share with them that there will always be something that could come up on this trip and he'll need to deal with something in the office. That doesn't mean that his phone is ringing off the hook, but his family understands that he needs to have some availability for his clients in case of an emergency. But he makes sure to set those boundaries and expectations with his family. Another conversation to discuss with your family is how much time is actually needed in the office. Matt shared great examples of one of the exercises that he and Micah do at Masterminds, which is a time exercise. How much time do you really need to be in the office? If you want a certain lifestyle, how many hours do you need to work? Make this a conversation with your family so they understand your time. The guys then talked about avoidance behavior. Matt mentioned the book, The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, and this idea of resistance, which keeps you from reaching your potential. So you may say, oh, I can't do this. Instead, I need to go do something else. So while what you may end up doing has a purpose, in reality, you're avoiding the more important things that need your focus and attention. Family is an easy justification, but you need to be careful with this. Family can be the avoidance behavior, especially if you claim you need family time, but you just end up watching TV or not actually spending time with your kids. Advisors may claim they need to be home with their family, but they're just spending time on their phones. Be intentional. Matt also said that most advisors who claim they don't have time for something will say it's because of family time. So just remember to be careful to not let this become avoidance behavior. The guys talked about research time as a great example of avoidance behavior and playing office. Matt recommends that research needs to be contained within a certain time period. For him, it's Monday afternoons. Those are the only times for research. He said put research in a set time or time block it. Matt said it's also important to time block family time. He gave the example of Benjamin Brandt. So for his first surge meetings, they don't start until after he drops off his kids from school, and his client meetings end in time for him to pick up his kids. He's 100% intentional with his time. Micah reiterated being intentional. In fact, hyper intentional. And that it's about self-discipline and doing what works. So for Micah, that meant removing everything that he had been accessing from within his reach, such as email and apps. And in regards to being intentional with your family time, he said, know what you need to do in order to be focused. Figure out a system that works for you and tweak it if needed in order to be the best advisor, spouse, parent, or friend. For Micah, he has to make sure that his work stuff is done. He knows he's not going to be the best he can be with his family until that's complete. He also said he needs to clarify what success is in his workday to then be very connected with his family. Matt said if you're not present for your family, you need to step away and get whatever issue is distracting you taken care of. The guys ended this episode with some incredible thoughts. Micah said time is the great equalizer. It's the decisions that you make that day that then determine will you be productive. Matt suggested looking at what you are anchoring off of. He noticed a change once he started. Hold on, I'm going to redo this one. Matt suggested looking at what you are anchoring off of. He noticed a change once he started anchoring off of advisors who were crushing it. That anchor became taking 6 weeks off in the summer. Surround yourself with people who have the anchors that you want. All right, let's get into this week's action items. Action item number 1, be intentional with what you're doing. This is something that you are constantly going to be working on and improving. Take it one day at a time because this is a journey. Action item number 2, have action items. With everything we do here at the Perfect RIA, we always end with action items. So set your action items to give yourself something to focus on. Action item number 3, be sure to join the Perfect RIA for our panel of success at the XYPN Live Pre-Con on October 8th. You'll learn what it takes to double your effectiveness while working less. Visit the Perfect RIA to get signed up. Action item number 4, you need a mastermind. Invictus members, our next mastermind will be December 1st and 2nd in Las Vegas, and we are already getting our plans ready for our next mastermind in May 2023. If you're not involved in the Perfect RA's mastermind, you need to set one up. They are life-changing and can transform your practice. Action item number 5, don't confuse quality family time with avoidance or playing office. And for our last action item, be sure to give us 5 stars wherever you are listening. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, happy planning.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and